Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we do have the game against West Brom as promised. Now, of course, just looking at the table, you can tell that's a very important game. We're currently in 5th, just about borderline meeting expectations, I suppose. The board are asking for Champions League football. We're only 2 points away. And in fact, we can overtake West Brom if we beat them here at home. So in terms of what happened since the last episode, we'll show you, of course. But, things aren't going too great so far in the overall season. 10 points away from Chelsea. But to everyone else, we're decently close enough. And if we can continue going on a winning run, then who knows where we will be. We'll definitely climb up the table. But yeah, in terms of how other teams are performing, you can have a look at the overall league table. Let's open that quickly. Leeds, Leicester, Reading are the ones who are struggling in relegation zone. Champions League spots, obviously, as you can tell, West Brom doing so well so far. Obviously, still early in the season. Manchester City and Tottenham hugely underperforming. In particular, Manchester City have played 9 games, lost 3, won 3, and drawn 3. But to be fair to them, their losses aren't as bad as they seem because they have been against some top opposition. But of course, still need to recover well and quickly if they hope to retain the title, which Chelsea are going on a crazy run. A very similar run to the one that City had last season, unbeaten for a huge chunk of the season. But anyways, if we just have a quick look at the statistics, in terms of our fours, it seems like we're outscoring a huge chunk of the table, but it looks like we're also conceding more than other people. Chelsea only conceding a single goal, leaving them with a goal difference of 16, the best in the league, and that's fair play to them. But anyways, in terms of ourselves and what happened since last episode, I think where's the freaking schedule button? I've lost it. Right, there you go. Since that game against couldn't have been Arsenal, there was another one after, it was Brighton. Yeah, so since that game against Brighton, it was a disappointing draw away from home though, so you can kind of be a bit understanding. We managed to bounce back with a win against Leeds 3-0. Lallana, Henderson and Lacazette all on the score sheet. And it was good to keep the clean sheet as well. Juventus though was just a 1-1 draw, but it does leave us in a good position in the Champions League. So just to give you a little bit of an update on that, we're top of the group with half the games being played. So of course we have to keep up in the second half. Can't just afford to slip up, but hopefully we top our table so we can, hopefully get a good draw. In the League Cup, we're going to be playing against Cardiff next, so Championship side. So it's a bit of an easier draw than the one we had this time around. Which was against Arsenal, where we managed to beat 5-2. Leon Goretzka and Mesut Ozil managing to score for Arsenal. We got our revenge for the game we played against them early in the season. Kent, Lacazette, Salah, Mane and Henderson all on the score sheet. Good to see 5 different goal scorers, in particular Kent, who's been outstanding so far this season. Watford away should have been more difficult than it looks, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a tough game, but instead we managed to win convincingly, and it was away from home. So very all-round performance, especially from Lacazette with the penalty goal and his own goal in the 47th minute. Really just a second half flurry after disappointing in the first half, in truth. So thankfully no losses in a couple of games time now, so that's good. We just have to keep up our consistency and hopefully keep going on a winning run like we mentioned. And we'll have to do that here against West Brom today. But yeah, in terms of our revenge, this is the Arsenal game that I was mentioning. I think we did show you that earlier in the season as well. Such an open game, and to be fair, this was a kind of open game as well. I mean, obviously won convincingly, but it's very back and forth sort of stuff. So yeah, I think we can go ahead and kick off. There's no real tweaks. We might want to just change some of these players. No one really tied other than Kent. Disappointing to take him off, but Mane is a very capable left winger, of course, who's supposed to be our first choice, but struggling for form and fitness since he's unhappy at the club. And we'll be looking to get rid of him soon enough in the next 2 months possibly. But anyways, so the team we'll be going with in the formation. The only real tweak we've made tactically is that we've gotten rid of roam from positions. It seems to have helped us a bit. We've already got players who naturally roam quite frequently, who have good movement. These the inside forwards and shadow strikers and complete forwards and complete wing backs. All these players, especially the complete wing backs and complete forwards, they roam. Shadow strikers and inverted or inside forwards, they have good horizontal movement, I suppose, if you want to call that. So they move sideways, which is also obviously roaming movement, which is the movement that you're trying to look for when you're trying to play pass and move football. Of course, really it's just our midfield players who don't seem to move too much in terms of pass and move football, but we've got the front four doing that business for us. We need to try and protect our defence as much as possible. So that's kind of it. I think we can go ahead and start the match, a crucial one. We can talk more about, you know, who's playing and who's not playing, all that sort of business. But obviously, it's always, as always, all about your form and fitness. And so far, I think we've got a very decent team here. Lacazette, the best top goal scorer of the starting 11, 14 appearances, 10 goals, 4 assists. You can't really ask for much more from him. Salah with the most assists out of the starting 11 right now, 4 goals, 8 assists, and again, can't ask for him too much. Henderson with the top average rating of this starting 11, and again, he's just been in incredible form, and I should have moved him to the ball-winning midfielder spot or role earlier, in truth, because he's been outstanding for us. So yeah, we stick with our usual 4-2-3-1 formation. Should be enough to take apart West Brom's 4-1-4-1. They're going to be trying to hit us on the counter-attack without doubt. Their wingers here are going to try and take advantage of the space here. And the defensive midfielder should be able to deal with Lallana quite well. And so we'll definitely need our wingers to step up and hopefully perform, because Lacazette is going to have a tough job being faced with the 2 centre-backs as well as a defensive midfielder. So, you know, he's playing on a support role, which doesn't necessarily suit. You know, we need him to sort of occupy the centre-back since there is a DM. If he drops in here, he's just getting in, you know, these players' ways and whatnot. So, you know, it's just something to keep an eye on, and hopefully he can work his way around that. He's allowed to roam, so he should be able to find bits of space here and there, but you can expect him to be tightly man-marked. Anyways, expectations on us to win. Timo Horn has been an incredible signing for me. I'm very pleased with how he's performed. I don't really care about his average rating, in truth. I haven't even seen it. Decent one so far, but 13 goals conceded from 14 appearances doesn't actually read too well. But we are a very attacking side, of course, and hopefully we can get our defense sorted out as well. But anyways, kickoff is finally on. We can have set replays and actually put goals on this time, because we forgot to do that last time. But yeah, off we go against a outstanding West Brom side who are really pushing above their weight, and we are going to have to try and send them back down to earth, I suppose. But so far we're dominating the early stages, which is great to see. But Klein is picking up, has picked up actually a bit of an injury. Doesn't seem to be too serious, but it's serious enough for my assistant manager to talk about it. I can't seem to highlight it for some reason. But anyways, I'm sure we'll see it at half-time. Substitute him at half-time if possible. We'll see who's on the bench as well. Anyways, Keita on the ball for the team, a deep line playmaker pushing up really high up the pitch for that throw-in, a bit unusual. But anyways, does find the injured Klein eventually, who's got the weirdest haircut now. I think he's actually done something about his hair there, dyed it probably. Salah plays it safely back to Keita, and he's going to have to try and create something here. Lallana's found free, and he goes to Salah, who's free again, and he's gone for the incredible volley. The guy scores incredible goals that you don't expect, and he passes when you think he should be scoring. He's just such a weird player to have, but as long as he keeps at it, who am I to complain? But yeah, Keita does really well to find Lallana free. He's been closed down by 2 players. Lallana's on the ball. The moment someone comes to him, he just puts in a really nice ball through to Salah, and Salah has the tightest of angles to work with. That is as good a volley as you'll ever really see, to be fair. And that's a nice little goal to carry into the half-time break, hopefully, unless we can add to it. But no cause of concern from West Brom. Not really showing us why they're third in the table, and I hope that doesn't mean that they try and do something. But anyways, Lacazette. Ooh, very decent free kick. Mane. I thought he was going to miss that for a second. The game seemed to hint that he was going to miss it. But Lacazette's free kick is incredible. Just very unlucky that it hits the post. I'm really glad that Mane was alive to it and got on the rebound quicker than their defenders. And quite an unusual line they were doing there. I think they were trying to play offside but failed and forgot about the ball. But either way, West Brom go into halftime without a single shot to their name, not even on target, just like literal shots. And I think that's fair play to us for performing so well. But West Brom are going to have to start asking themselves, okay, there you go, finally a single shot. They have to start asking themselves, what are they going to do? I'm 100% sure after halftime they're going to come out and try and get at us. Because, you know, otherwise they're going to be, the manager's going to shout at them without a doubt. So looks like there's no one on the bench for us for Nathaniel Klein. What's he injured with? What are you injured with, mate? What's your problem? Doesn't seem like there's anyone for him. Robertson, what can you do? No, he's left-footed anyways. That's Henderson. Great. Alright, so I guess we'll just continue playing with Klein and hopefully his injury is not too bad. I have Alex on the bench for the reason to replace Andrew Robertson, especially because he is the better fullback. Trent, maybe we should have had Trent on the bench, but you know, you can't predict these things, and if Klein can avoid a serious injury, so we're not forced to take him off, that'd be great. And then hopefully when it's full time, you know, there's nothing too bad that can't be healed. Speaking of taking off players, Lallana's the one who's asking to come off. Substituting for Fornals though, so that's okay. We've got someone on the bench for him. I'm not sure why the game doesn't want to tell us what their injuries are. Can we have a look now? Potential foot injury, what you've got? Okay, apparently I can't see Klein's. That's so unusual. Can't even select him. It's like the selection process is only allowed from here onwards. Alright, well, 60th minute anyway, so let's see if we can do any other substitutions. 2 up, so I think we can afford to start trying to rest players. Henderson, be nice to rest him. Hasn't had the best of games today. Decent one, but not the best. No one on the bench for him though, and the same can be said about Klein, so I think we'll just save our substitutions to later. Alright, so finally a highlight. And West Brom are the ones who kick it off. The question is, can they finish it off? Milner playing against us, of course, would have been useful to have had him because he would have been able to play in Klein's position. Coco beats Robertson there quite easily, and he can deliver into the box here unless we stop him. No, we don't. But Gomez is the one to clear it, and Mane can try and get us going. He finds Lacazette well, drops deep for it, beats his man, who doesn't seem to really have cared there. Lacazette trying to go solo though. Can he put a finish to it? Not like that, and that's too easy for Foster to pick up. And you have to wonder why the match engine decided to show us that game. Okay, so you're telling me the whole time it's been written here that he's got a gashed head? Have I just been completely blind today? Either way, Klein, you're staying on, mate. I'm going to have to try and avoid you substituting you as much as possible. I will play with 10 men if I have to. So let's see. Mane, we've got Kent on the bench. Bring him off for Mane. Bring him on for Mane. And the other player probably deserves some rest is Salah as well. But ready. No one else on the bench from either. Keita we can take off for Jorginho. Let's see if he can... See if Jorginho can put in a better performance than Keita has today. Not a bad one either. Similar to Henderson. Henderson stepped up a little bit. A hint. But Keita definitely not a quiet game, not an amazing game, just solid, and I think it seems to have been enough for today's performance. In truth, 20 shots, 10 on target, 2 goals, a single shot in West Brom's name. And again, like I said before, you really have to wonder why they're in the Champions League spots ahead of everyone else, including us. I mean, what's so special about them if they can't really seem to perform? Have they given us too respect? Are they worried because we're Liverpool that's why they haven't performed too well? Are they beating other similar smaller teams or something, for example? We'll have a look after the match and see how they're performing. Klein though, with the man of the match performance, that's really good considering how he was injured for that match. Hopefully that gashed head isn't as bad because we do need him for that upcoming Juventus game. But good to get another 3 points. Hopefully we can continue the nice little winning run we're having. And we desperately need it if we want to have any hope of challenging for silverware this season. The Premier League title specifically in mind. Alright, let's have a look at why West Brom are doing so well. Lallana and Klein both injured. We'll have a quick look to see if they are that bad. Good to see us back in the Champions League spots, and Tottenham have climbed up with us. There's a possibility that Arsenal might do it as well. Chelsea plays Southampton, who are down here and looking to avoid relegation. So it might be a bit too early to say it's a serious game, but you would expect some fight from Southampton. But anyways, West Brom, 6 wins. Who have you beaten? Leeds, Southampton, Manchester United, very decent. Leeds, Southampton though, both sort of relegation candidates I suppose. Reading, newly promoted side. Crystal Palace, where are they? Yeah, sort of relegation candidates. Bournemouth, really good last season and decently enough this season too. Europa League football. There's some decent results in there I suppose. A draw against Stoke and a loss to ourselves, Middlesbrough and Tottenham. That's alright, but I do expect them to drop off to be fair. Anyways, very early on, not even halfway through this season. So, Lallana, how long are you out for? 3 to 6 weeks. Great. Klein, 3 to 12 days. Let's just use a club doctor, and that's that. Alright, so I think that's all. We've played the fixture of November, I suppose. Let's have a look at when we'll be back for December. There's going to be a huge chunk of games, as always, in England. We've got from Crystal Palace here to about Stoke, so a huge chunk of games. Crystal Palace might not be the most important one. Sparta Prague, like we said, I'm not showing you. Neither is the Carabao Cup, because of course we're not showing you cup competitions until we reach the final or the board expectations. So Champions League is quarterfinals, of course. Carabao Cup, the board don't care, so we'll show you only if we reach the final. And the FA Cup, I think, is the semis. Anyways, Newcastle not that important either. Reading not that important either. Manchester United, Leicester, and Stoke. And I think the game we're looking forward to is the one against Manchester United, particularly because they're in second, so we need to try and beat them and climb above them, and that would be great because obviously we're rivals, but at the same time just to keep up our title challenge, if you can even call it that, considering the way Chelsea are playing. But anyways, I think that will be all for today's episode. So of course, if you did enjoy it, then of course please do hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2018 content. And I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, guys, once again, thank you all very much for watching.